The thing is, I couldn't remember a single time I had read a book that had actually been written by somebody who had self-published the book. So this was a huge issue when trying to figure out whether self-publishing was going to be right for me or not. And that's one of the reasons why in today's video we're discussing the top 3 reasons why I'm self-publishing my books. This is Chris Barrett from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. So when I was getting started back in 2015, I was getting to the point I was thinking, I want to get a book on the market. I had a number of ideas that I wanted to get out. I knew these subjects would be of interest to out in the world, and even if people didn't want to buy them, I still wanted to get them out there. The thing is that in order to get my books out and selling on the market, should I go for the traditional route or should I go for the self-publishing route? And it wasn't completely clear to me which route was going to be right for me, but I knew that the self-publishing route was a route that maybe doesn't sell so many books, and that also is it like vanity publishing, and there were hybrid options and a lot of different things that made the whole thing confusing. What got me started originally was that my brother actually had put a book or two onto Amazon and had seen some sales through the book. But I was still trying to figure it out which would be better for me. And if I didn't figure this out, I simply would not even get any books on the market. And obviously that would involve not selling. The first challenge I faced was there's just so many things to learn regarding the tools around the thing. I tried lots and lots of different tools, trying to figure out which tools would be right for me. Now, I put below in the description my affiliate links for the tools that I have found over the years that are the best tools. I update it regularly based upon changes in the market and changes in the tools and the pricing structures for these tools in order to ensure that these are the absolute best that I found to this point. The second thing was I started taking courses. I grew up in a way in which we didn't take so many courses. We didn't need to figure it out. We'll just figure it out ourselves. But this was a huge mistake. I began to realize over time that you're not going to just figure this out. The strategies involved, it's not like a board game like Monopoly or something where if you just play around a little bit, you'll figure it out. There are too many tools, too many rules that are not listed, and without knowing the right strategies, you'd completely fail. So I took a lot of courses once I started getting going, because my first course I took was an ads course on Amazon, and that immediately started generating me sales. The next course I took was focused on keywords and target markets, and that leveraged where suddenly putting a book on the market, running ads against it, and making a profit of $1,000 a month off of a single book. That was what made me realize that this self-publishing thing was not fake. But after taking all of these courses on self-publishing and actually seeing results coming out of it and going through all of the best and top YouTube channels on self-publishing, reading piles of blogs, reading books, I had heard a few negative stories upon the idea of doing the traditional publishing. So it became very clear to me that this was not the route that I was going to do. So that was like the number one reason that I went this particular route with self-publishing, was that I had heard from people and I hadn't heard anybody saying the opposite. The second thing, if that weren't enough, it's that I have many coaching clients over the years helping them get started with self-publishing or figuring out what's right. Sometimes self-publishing may not be the right choice. If you have no time, no technical ability, no ability to learn anything, don't want to learn anything, then sometimes a hybrid route or the traditional route may be right for you. But almost all of my coaching clients who did not go the self-publishing route regretted it. In fact, I've never had a single client who said, I went these other routes, the hybrid or the traditional route, and have been super happy with it. I just never met somebody. I'm sure there's tons of them out there. In fact, you can see the success stories, but it's just in terms of the clients that I've had, I've just not met those people. And so that also helped reinforce the aspect of why self-publishing is the right choice. The final thing was I had lots of success stories of people who did do the self-publishing route. Unlike these other routes, the self-publishing route, there are a lot of success stories where you get your book on the market. The key is not trying to make a profit immediately, but understanding it's a learning process, and as you go, you'll go layers deeper into it as you grow in the process. And that's one of the things I discovered with the courses I took. Now, the courses I was taking at the time were very complicated and were hitting so many things, and it was almost impossible. And most people felt overwhelmed or were not able to make progress. And that's one of the reasons why I on Self-Publishing Made Easy Now, we like to break it down and keep things simple. And in my checklist, I break down those steps. And that's one of the reasons you're going to want to grab my free Self-Publishing Secrets checklist below in the description to make sure that you can save the pain and suffering that I went through in terms of learning the steps that are necessary to get your book self-published and also selling. But in the end, what happened was, as I went through the process, I discovered it gets easier as you go. And that's the reason why I have over 200 books out on Amazon. And for me, self-publishing, without a doubt, is absolutely the best way to go when you're actually trying to get your book onto the market and selling, and you're learning the process so that you yourself are not dependent upon somebody else to tell you what is necessary to win or lose. And for me, I've seen enough income coming from all of these books that I've been able to hire a couple people to be on my full-time team, helping me with the self-publishing side and also in terms of the YouTube business and my courses and coaching and all of these sorts of things. In addition, hiring a coach myself. I don't believe it is a good idea to do any of these endeavors without having a coach. Whether you hire me or hire somebody else, having a coach that can take you through and hold you accountable on a daily basis is a very important aspect. A YouTube production team, as well as an SEO team, and a conversion optimization team, a whole series of people all coming and being funded from the profits coming from the books that I've put on there. And now I wish to share these skills with you as well. And that's one of the reasons I put together that particular checklist in order to do it. But then you might be wondering, which platform should you self-publish on? And that's the reason why I created the best self-publishing platforms of 2022. You can check that video out right above me here. Thanks.